Hello and welcome to the Squirrel Heed YouTube channel. Now I'm going to try and do some quickfire news with a couple of the headlines that are plaguing the Liverpool transfer news market these days, and quite a lot of it, I'm going to cover three of our big ones that, well, I say big ones, there's one big one and then there's a couple of little ones that I'm going to talk about, and I say little ones because I don't really know who they are, and then just a couple of the other big news that has maybe come out this evening or come out earlier today. So kicking straight off, we're looking at Bastien, who's a 19-year-old midfielder who we may have apparently been beaten to by Benfica, which will be disappointing because apparently he's quite a versatile midfielder who can play in a deep line role, but can then also, he prefers to play as a playmaker, which that type of versatility is something that we need desperately in that team. And it also means that we can we've got more cover in the midfield than we would normally have. Because otherwise, if you take someone out like Henderson, Firmino, Coutinho, that midfield starts to become a little bit bare, a little bit less creative. You get someone in like that who's quite obviously quite versatile in the midfield. You want to snap them up, and especially at the age of 19, why haven't we snapped them up already? Well, it looks like Benfica are going to beat us to it, but fingers crossed we'll have a bit more of an update in the next couple of days. Moving straight on to the next one, which has come out of left field for me anyway. A young lad called Herrera. He's currently playing his trade with Porto, and we're apparently battling Napoli for this, which is quite interesting, leading on to the next bit of news after this. Now apparently we're going in for him, and Napoli have apparently already tabled a bid of 15 million. Porto are apparently demanding a further 5 million on top of that. This is euros. For the deal to go through, and apparently it's opened the door for us. Apparently we're not the only one to be in contact with Porto, but we have apparently assured that we're willing to match the asking price. The stumbling block in this deal apparently is that Herrera's contract offer will have to be far superior, and that he needs to be with Napoli in the Champions League next year, which again, the Champions League is coming back to bite us in the arse royally. And that there's apparently his former club, Pachuca, still hold 30% of Herrera's registration, which is why Porto are asking for such a high price, so that they can still get the transfer fee money that they think they deserve for the player, and that then, so that they can lose that 30% to the older club and still also have the money for him. There's not really a lot else on that, to be honest. Again, it looks like we're going to be beaten again to another transfer of another young potential guy. Disappointing, because it looks like we're going to get beaten left, right and centre to every single deal that we try and do this summer. Pretty much like I said the other day, it looked like we were going to get beaten to every single signing. But fingers crossed we can actually put something together. Now, moving on to the biggest Liverpool news that we've got so far is a beautiful image that I'll put up on the screen alongside us of Higuain in transforming Liverpool colours, because Jurgen Klopp had been pictured at the Argentina match with Higuain's brother and his agent. What does that mean? Honestly, it could mean absolutely nothing. They could just be mates. You never know. They could be trying to discuss some sort of deal. Are they actually really wanting to bring Higuain over to Liverpool? What are we going to be able to offer in terms of stuff like wages? What we're going to, in terms of like where's his position going to be in the team? Someone like that is going to be your first starter, but then where do you put Origi, Benteke, Sturridge, Ings? The front lot of our team we've got so many of them. Does that mean then we're going to end up losing Benteke? Is Sturridge going to go out because Jurgen Klopp seemed to prefer Divock Origi when he came back in, and he really made a great big impact at the end of the season? Looks like he's really liking the look of Danny Ings at the moment. Is that going to be the way he goes, and Sturridge and Benteke get shifted out and bring some more revenue back in? Who knows? But there's not really a great deal to make of that when someone is just sat there, gets a photo taken with Higuain's brother and his agent. Yes, it looks like something to be excited about, but I will not get excited about over any signing that isn't actually official until it's actually on like Sky Sports and they're sat there signing a document saying that that's them, they've signed with Liverpool. Not get excited no matter who it is, if it's a youngster that we've never even heard of or if it's one of the biggest strikers in the world. However, it does look promising, but I'm not going to get my hopes up, just like with everything else. Now, other news that we've got coming in as well today is that Eric Bailly from Villarreal has officially signed with Manchester United. What does that give them? It gives them a defender. It gives them a defender. He's got great potential. People are going on about like this one where this in one match where he got skinned completely by Fernando Torres, which if this was Fernando Torres 4 years ago, 3 years ago, you'd understand that people were taking the piss because he completely lost all of his pace at that point and he'd had no confidence. But at the moment at Atletico, Torres is a different animal altogether, and he's looking like that dangerous animal he was 8 years ago. So I mean, looking at that, you've got to look. They're strengthening the departments that they needed to bring someone in that can go alongside the likes of Smalling, because it doesn't look like Phil Jones is going to make it. And also, it's just going to provide a bit more depth in that department for them, which is what they were sorely looking for. Now, the other big news that's breaking tonight as well is obviously to do with Man City and the fact that apparently they are in quite advanced talks with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to become one of their signings, which just even looking on FIFA terms, he's one of those guys, he's a good FIFA player on the game, and in real life he's banging goals in left, right and centre. He's an absolute nightmare to play against, and he does have the potential to rip the Premier League apart. Then coupled together with the fact that you could have Sergio Aguero, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, with a youth player in Iheanacho who's showing really good promise, and I do believe eventually Iheanacho is going to be the natural replacement for Aguero. They're not actually going to have to buy a striker, and then they go and get, or potentially go and get, Aubameyang. Absolutely ridiculous, and it's very good business by Man City, not showing any jealousy whatsoever. I would take him. I think any club would take him, and that is very good business for Man City if they can get him over the line. That will be absolutely ridiculous, and that will strike fear into the rest of the Premier League straight away on the calibre of that signing. The fact that they've just got Gundogan as well, or Gundogan, I don't know how you say his name, but they've got him in the door as well. Maybe that's going to be like a little bit of a bargaining chip. Look who we've got, he's already here, you played with him for years, come over, it'll be absolutely fantastic. And I've no doubt that he's one of those guys that could hit the ground running, which is scary. But good for the Premier League. It can only be good for the Premier League, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, the only downside is obviously all these signings coming from abroad, where are our youth players? But again, I think that's another video for another time. If you've enjoyed this quickfire transfer talk, do drop the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here. Anything that you think that I could be covering, please drop it in the comments below, and I'll catch you later.